Yes, 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 yes. This is Nicholas Tannock. Oh, yes, yes. It is September. September is here. It's 2025. We are here with a therapeutic kink practitioner. This person is amazing. The YouTube, what she's trying to do is amazing for the kink community. I had to have her on the show. She's amazing. She's wonderful. Before we begin, I must say that everything we talk about is between consenting adults. We're adults. This is a culture. This is a lifestyle. We're not breaking laws. We pay taxes. We are genuinely decent people doing the right thing, and we're imaginative and we're thoughtful and we're kinky and we're beautiful. Don't judge. It's a very ugly quality and it causes more problems. Everybody, please welcome, welcome, welcome to your kinky friends. Emily Letts, Emily Letts, Emily Letts. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. So let's just kick it right off. First of all, get 15% off all inventory at lockedandlost.com. But Emily, what's inspiring you these days?
What is inspiring me these days? Let me just drop in. What is inspiring me these days? I would have to say, I mean, I am sort of I'm sort of new to the whole the social media world. I've been doing it for like 2 years or so, but I'm new to it. And one of the things that I find so delicious is being completely and utterly mind blown and inspired, like brought down to my knees by my clients and my one-on-one work, and then being able to share like this is what I learned in these sessions with the greater community on TikTok. And it just like, and then to see this, like how when we share stories, especially like at the taboo nature of our lives with publicly, like how it just like ripples out and like sort of, it's like a rippling domino effect, like unlocking so many other people's hearts and minds that just, I don't know, it's just a constant reminder of how deeply connected we are and how we are actually one being, one organism. And I think ultimately, like, so if I had to distill that down, it's one of my favorite quotes, which is the number one delusion of human beings is that we are separate. That is deeply inspiring to me.
That is inspiring. Wow. I am so glad you said that. It's a great quote. Thank you. Thank you. I love quotes. Anyone knows my show. I love quotes. Let's talk about Soul Kink. Soul Kink. What a beautiful name. Tell us about Soul Kink. What inspired Soul Kink? And tell us all about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, Soul Kink is my business and brand, but basically it's the it's the integration of kink and BDSM into like deep transformative healing. I mean, one of the things that I have come to one of the things that, if you know me, you know that I love taboo. I love everything about anything that is taboo. I am like gnawing at the bit for, and it is because like again like this delusion that we're separate. And when there is taboo in place, that means there's stigma and shame. Like taboo doesn't exist if there's not stigma and shame. And so like this sort of like beautiful cosmic joke of how people feel separate because they feel stigma and shame around a specific thing, a kink, a fetish, an abortion, a birth, a prison sentence, like whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's just like the cosmic jokes of feeling like I do not belong, when there are so many people who have the exact same experience. And like, so one of the things is like really diving into the taboo in this world. But so using kink and BDSM as like this playground. and then using that as a playground for people to truly go in and like feel pleasure in the deepest parts of their shame, feel pleasure in the deepest parts of the things that they've been hiding from, feel, and then like the discovery process of putting everything in a playground. That's sort of what Soul Kink is. And the company, my business used to be called Sensual Transformation, which, like, whatever that means. But then I sat with with grandmother ayahuasca, and she's the one who actually told me, like, it's actually Soul Kink. Like, this is actually, it's about the combination of like the deep spiritual soul self with fucking kinky fuck.
All right, you said grandma ayahuasca.
Mhm.
It can mean two things in my mind. Which one does it really mean? What grandma ayahuasca? Where did you take ayahuasca? Just curious.
Yeah, so I've sat with ayahuasca 8 times in the last year. So she's one of my guides, but I have many guides. I'm a deeply spiritual person, and
Wonderful.
so that's the thing that I bring into my kink is like an extreme intentionality, which I think sets it apart from actually a lot of other modalities of
Yes.
play and recreational kink.
We
And
have on our show we had an ayahuasca, a man who does ayahuasca, 7-day ayahuasca retreats in the jungle. Yeah, it's coming soon. Stay tuned to the channel. It's already in the bank. Yes, I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, that's basically what soul kink is. It's the discovery of finding the pain, the pleasure in the pain. And it's not just about our sexual lives, it's about all the things that we avoid, all the things that we um like we brace against in our own bodies, in our own personalities, in our own lives, that we brace against them instead of like opening our bodies up and surrendering to them. So kink is just, I think, the most magnificent tool for deep transformational healing because it has everything built in. And so
Yes.
that's what I do.
You're a therapeutic kink practitioner. You're the MSW, MSH.
Yes, I have a master's in social work and public health.
Yeah. Um, and then you went on this journey to create Soul Kink. Was there a transformative moment for you? And what was it? That
So it's actually when I
uh,
first started Soul Kink was definitely the transformative moment. And that is I so where should I start?
hmm.
So basically, um I have you ever read the book Existential Kink?
I heard so many good things about it. I have not read it yet though, but it is definitely on my reading list.
Yeah. So basically, the idea of existential kink is very much based on what I do. But although my modality is a little bit different, but the idea of existential kink is like any pattern you have in your life, any any um any pattern, anything you don't like about yourself. Say you're a pushover and you're like, I fucking hate being a pushover. Everyone just walks all over me. I never get what I want. Like yada yada yada. But the existential kink is the way of recognizing that you you actually get off on being a pushover. You get off on being a doormat. And maybe it's because deep down you think like, oh, I'm better than everyone. I give more. I'm more generous. Like, this is what is going to get me into heaven. Right. Like, deep down, there are these ways of just how you like get off and you hold on to these patterns that don't serve you. And so the idea is like there are two parts of yourself that are warring. There's the part of you who like wants to get what you want and wants to like be respected. And there's a part of you that actually loves being a doormat. And so we say it's like a parts conflict, it's a parts war. And so I had one of those. So for me, my parts war was that I'm going to take a breath. Yeah, that's better. One of the things that I really recognized was I had a deep fear and distrust of men growing up. My dad was a police officer, pretty misogynistic, also a beautiful man, but still I just didn't trust men to be able to hold me or to be able to see me. And so when I was out dating, what I would do was I would use my skills of tracking and inquiry, and basically I'd go on dates and I'd make men just like fucking make puddles into my hands on the first date. I'd ask them about their childhoods, their relationship with their parents. I mean, just puddles in my hand because I love seeing the root of people. So then what I recognized was that then once I had them in puddles, I would just drop them. I'd be like, ugh, you're not good enough. I knew you weren't good enough in the first place. And so, but that was keeping me from deep intimacy, and it was keeping me from the thing that I wanted, which was actually true companionship. And so
Didn't
what
that
I
like eat at you? Like the more you did that, didn't it eat at you
right.
inside?
Well, it made me feel very powerful. That's what's really
Yeah, of
interesting.
course.
But it
Yeah.
also kept me from the thing that I wanted, which was true intimacy. And so the thing that I did was I read Existential Kink, and that was the shifting moment. And it was a shifting moment of recognizing I love manipulating men because
Mhm.
they scared me in the beginning. I love manipulating men and having power over. Let me create a dom. Let me understand what it means to be a dom, and let me like figure out what this is. And so that's when I created a container for this part, this creature, this persona of mine, so that I could take it out of my dating life and put it into this like space where it could grow and flourish. And then from that experience, that's how I created my dom self, my dom persona, which is eventually what led me to creating soul kink. So that was really the big shift, and existential kink was a big part of that experience, which is interesting because I actually train with teachers who are mentioned in existential kink. So they also brought me to some of my teachers.
All right. Let me ask you this. What makes your approach unique as opposed to other therapeutic kink practitioners? What would you say makes you
Well, the
unique?
truth is that there are not a lot of therapeutic kink practitioners out there. There's
True.
not
Yeah.
a lot of folks who
Good
do
ones.
kink with like true profound transformation. Like I'm a like change your life. I'm the person that you go to when you're like ready to walk in the fire. And not everyone is ready to do that at every single point in time. It's generally like a point in your life. And a lot of folks find it in their 50s, which is why a lot of my clients are in their 50s, where it's just like, what I've been doing is not fucking working. It's time to do something different. I'm the lady who's going to take your hand and like go into the fucking fire with you and then walk through the fire all the way out the other end. So I do like deep containers. We're in it. The difference between I mean, what's unique about my modality is that so I do something called parts work, and I use a modality called internal family systems, if you've heard of it. It's pretty it was created by Richard Schwartz about like 20 years ago, but basically it's this idea of really understanding and it's like, there's a part of you that loves being submissive. There's also a part of you that loves being in control. There's a part of
Yes.
you that loves being a writer. There's a part, you know what I mean? You have all of these different
Yes.
components inside of you. So if there's a part in you that is interrupting your life, interrupting how you want to express yourself, the idea this modality, you can really hone in on that specific part. And then once we have that part and understand what it wants, what it's afraid of, why it came to you, why you have that part, then the idea is like we do kink scenes with that part. Does that make sense?
Totally. Totally. And that a lot of that comes to shame. You shame is a central theme in therapy, right? So, what inspired you to focus, a lot of your work on dealing with people's shame?
Well, shame is really like, I mean, that's the thing is taboo, right? Taboo, shame. Like shame comes in many different forms. It can look like many different things. And I'm really into Brene Brown's definition of shame, which is like the difference between shame and guilt. Guilt is I have done something bad, right? I've done something, and when you have guilt, a you can have a separation between yourself and the action. And when you have separation between yourself and the action, you can really feel like there's something I can do different. It's like, okay, I messed up. Like, let me just I feel guilty. Let me do better next time. Whereas shame is I am bad. When your shame becomes like part of your identity, it means that there's no place to go. Like, oh, you're like, give up. You're bad. Like, what do you want to do with that? And so, like, that is why shame is so insidious. But it's also why it's such an effective. That's why, so many movements, Me Too well, let's just talk about the Me Too movement, uses shame as a very core central theme for behavior modification. It's probably the most effective behavior modification. But in the short term, very effective. In the long term, it actually using shame to change somebody's behavior, it erodes at the very core of our society, and it actually erodes at the thing that we're trying to accomplish in the first place. So, like, like any topic that's taboo is going to have shame. But like my work is not just about shame. It's yes, shame comes into play, but there's shame is just one thing in the cocktail of what
Okay,
human
okay.
emotion is.
This makes me makes me ask the question though. You said a lot of your clients are in the 50s, 50-year-old men. Okay.
I right now, and that's actually because of TikTok. Most of
Okay.
my
Well, let
folks,
me ask you this.
but
Let me ask you this.
really
What are
they're
they ashamed of? What are these 50-year-old men ashamed? I just turned 50. What are they to what are the typical 50-year-old male ashamed of that who come to you?
well, I don't like it's hard to say a typical 50-year-old man because like what's typical? There's no such
I
thing as
just meant like in general, what are people most ashamed of? Are they like when it comes to kink and fetishes, are they ashamed
well,
of
it just depends.
cross dressers are ashamed of wearing clothing, then there's
No, I mean,
lust.
so how taboo this is my understanding of kink, which is why I love it so much. So the idea is like early on in our childhood, the we something of us was not accepted, right? It was like to belong, you be not that. Do like whoever you are, just don't be that if you want to belong. And so we take the thing
Yes.
that we are or what we're attracted to or whatever, and we're like, oh, let me shrink this down, like go away, go away, go away. Then as years go on, like layers, it's almost like coal underneath, like in a mountain, like layer thousands of years, like layer coal, years go on, and that little thing gets like compressed, and maybe it's only a year, or maybe it's just like a couple years later, but that little thing becomes like so squashed it becomes a diamond. Right? And that's when our sexuality comes into play. And what's so cool is the things that we are most like, I'm not supposed to be this, then our sexuality comes in, and it like alchemizes that thing into something sparkly and erotic. And this is why I think kink is so profound, is because it takes the things, our darkest shames, our darkest, most like, I'm not allowed to do this or be this or like this, and it creates profound pleasure out of it. And what's so cool is it's our body doing it. Our mind has nothing to do with it. It's our body. Like, I love the idea that like you can be turned on by something you didn't know you were turned on by. And it's like,
Oh yeah.
whoa, wow, I did not know that a bus on the side of the road would make something so wet, right? Because but that's the thing, is our body has so much wisdom in it, and our mind is actually quite stupid. Our body is so smart, but we have, through colonization, through so many different factors, our ancestors created a society where we disassociate our mind from our body. But that's the thing, is like when you have this little diamond down here, and all of a sudden I'm not supposed to be this, I'm not supposed to do this, all of a sudden we become turned on by it because no matter what, it's still there and we're not supposed to be it. So then it becomes like, oh my God, that's so hot, whether we want it or not.
Yeah.
So the idea is that like we can go down and like be little scuba divers or little coal miners and go through the dust, through the years and go. And if we really sit with this diamond and we really say like, what wisdom do you have to share with me? And then the diamond will like scrape away the shame. And then we can like open up the diamond and we can take the wisdom back up to the surface and integrate it into our life for like profound healing. That's why I think kink is so magical. And so when you ask me the question, what are most people ashamed of? And it's like they're ashamed. I mean, if I were to say for men, most men are ashamed of being human.
Interesting.
Most men are afraid of being like a full rounded, feeling, sensitive human. Most men have been indoctrinated into the shitty brand of masculinity that we have
Yes.
that strips them from their ability to play, strips them from their ability to be in their divine feminine, which is their sensing, their feeling, their like attunement. Like it says you are a provider and that's what you're supposed to do. You are meant to provide.
It strips them away from being purely loving and truly
It
loving.
strips them right, because of the misogyny, because I mean, if I go really into the weed, it's because like it strips them away because it's like, don't be a woman. And it strips them away because women are actually deeply powerful and we're scared of women taking us over. So then, I mean, you can see this, I can talk forever about this, but like,
I can listen forever. I'm 100% with you.
that's where misogyny comes from. And so like, ultimately men whether they know it or not, are bought into this culture of misogyny. And they're like, I'm not allowed to be a feeling, crying, like soft-spoken, whatever, because I won't be accepted. And so therefore, a lot of the men I work with are submissive because they've again, alchemized the thing that they're terrified of being into profound pleasure.
Okay. I'm going to go a little off book here. Basically ask this. You have on your site, let's see. Let's take a look at your site. You have a thing about how services. Was it how to be or courses? Yeah. Okay. Meet your inner Dom. Meet your inner Dom. How can I become a better Dom? Now, I'm a switch. I have a very deep love for the whole forced feminization, sissification narrative. It's role. It's not real. I understand. It's role play. And I'm very, very lucky to have experienced it with loving people. And I'm currently experiencing it with the love of my life. Who is my queen. And I serve well. But we are switching. And I like to go. And she likes to be the dom around too. So for someone who has been someone submissive, like let's say I'm on a big submissive run and now it's time to kind of get back into it. What do you tell them? What do you tell people who have been submissive for so long to get out the inner dom? How can you bring out the inner dom in me?
Well, let's see. First of all, I guess my first question is, how do you feel about being in control?
I love it when I am in control, like when I have control over the like it. Yeah, I can. I love it. I get into character. I think I'm a true switch, like in every sense of the word.
Okay, so your question is, how can I be a better dom? In what ways do you feel like you need to be a better dom?
That's a good question. Ever since the liver transplant, I'm on this redemption arc improvement kick. I just want to be the best person possible. I can never be good enough. Like a student in school who is just always wants to learn. Like I'm never good enough, in other words. Like so I always want to be better. There's always another step. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of attitude.
Okay, so how do you think you can what do you feel like you need to improve to be a better, like, what areas would you like to improve in as a dom? Like, what areas do you feel like you, like, don't need to, yeah, need to.
Well, there's certain techniques I could always improve. Yeah, just certain techniques. What are Let me ask you this to not just flip it off me, but when you're meeting your inner dom, what is, with all these submissive men that you're training or that you're educating, what is the main um, hurdle that you have in getting them away from the submissive side to meet their inner dom?
Well, first of all, it's never about getting them away from their submissive side.
Okay.
It
Okay.
I'm not ever trying to get anyone away from anything. Like, and I think this is actually a really important point, which is when you have a creature that doesn't serve you, it's not about making that creature go away. It's not about, so for example, you just for somebody who's an addict, right? It's not about saying like, okay, the creature in me that wants more and more and more and more, it's not about that creature going away, like, get the fuck away from me. It's actually about, because that creature will always be there for till the day you die. Most likely it can change, but the idea is to change your relationship with that creature. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Definitely.
So
As
so
you did.
That's exactly it. So the idea is not for somebody to get away from their submissive, but it's also to, like, love their submissive and open up to different creatures that are inside of them. And oftentimes what I find are men who are very submissive are, a lot of it comes from the fear of being a bad man. So, like, the fear of being, because, like, they might have been hurt by a man or just, like, been around shitty men, or, like, the idea of being harmful perpetrator. Oftentimes, what I find in a lot of men is, like, because they have empathy, they're like, "I never wanna be in a position where I hurt somebody." And I have so much profound compassion and empathy for that experience, especially when all around you there are not examples of men who are deeply standing in their sacred masculine. There are men who have been indoctrinated into, in order to be a good man, I have to, like, let my feminine just drain out and my soul drain out of my body. And I have to sacrifice, and which then causes men to act irrationally and act harmfully because they are not balanced. They are not whole. And so a lot of men are like, if I'm in the taking role, I'm going to hurt somebody, and I can't hurt, I refuse to hurt anyone. And so for a lot of this process is beginning recognizing that, like, that when you are in a taking role, so I'm just saying taking in terms of dom, like a dom, because doms can be in many different, they can be in receiving, they can be in all different kind of actions, but to take, like, you have something, I want it, is to take, is for them to, first of all, acknowledge the pain that they have around their own masculine, acknowledge the pain that they have around the men in their lives, acknowledge the pain of how many people they've seen be hurt by men. First of all, that's number one step. Number two is to really um, is to have compassion for that creature, and then ask permission. Can I have, to that creature who is in deep pain, like, can I actually have permission to explore this? And I need your help to keep me safe. So this is a part of internal family system. It's like, how can you help me keep me safe so that I can be in my own pleasure? I can be in my own desires and, like, experiences while being attuned and safe. So it's like giving themselves that permission is a whole process. Because then the idea of stepping into a dom is like, a dom creates the universe. A dom says, this is my universe. This is what it looks like. Whether or not there's a chair right there, there's a chair right now there. I want you to go sit in that imaginary chair, right? Like, this is my universe. And Dom welcomes the person who they consensually are in a hierarchy with. They say, do you want to come into my world? And the submissive says, yes, I do want to come into your world. And what a gorgeous exchange that is. What profound healing. Profound healing for somebody to be like, I trust you. I trust you to build a world for me that I feel safe, and I trust you to be attuned for me. And how much crazy, powerful healing there is in somebody to say, like, I am the creator of my own fucking universe. That in itself can change lives.
I am the creator of my own fucking universe. You describe integrating pattern rewiring techniques to help clients find their quote unquote grounded penetrative erotic self. Can you kind of explain what that means?
Yeah. I mean, it's very similar. It's basically what I've been talking about, which is like,
Yeah.
the pattern is changing your relationships to, and really understanding and personifying the creatures, the patterns that you're in, and the creatures that are in those patterns, in order to protect you. Every creature in internal family systems, you have two types of creatures. You have protectors, which are trying to protect you from pain, and you have exiles, which feel the pain. So exiles are generally small, younger parts of yourself, and protectors are like a myriad of different creatures, who, yeah, are trying to protect you.
Yeah.
And so, um, so it's really just about, it's not only about confronting them and having compassion, but it's also about integrating pleasure, of like, look, if this creature steps aside, like talking specifically to the creature, hey creature, I understand that you're here for a reason. I admire you. I love the way that you've kept me protected. Will you step aside so that I can experience pleasure? Because that's the thing, is a lot of people go into therapy, like regular talk therapy, and they're like, this is going to be a lot of fucking work. Woof. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to have to go and dig up all the shit and go into thing. I'm just going to talk and whatever. The difference when you use kink as a therapeutic modality is it's like, oh, no, baby. This is about pleasure. This is recognizing that there's so much pleasure in pain. Like, pain is when you open yourself up to emotional pain, to spiritual pain, to relational pain, when you allow yourself to like let it again like ripple through your body, it will take you to new realms. There's so much wisdom in pain. Yeah, and so that's very much about like the process that I do with people. And it's delightful and fun and playful and hard and like, and it's deep and it's painful and it's grieving, but it's all in the name of pleasure.
It's transformative. It's transformative, and they're transformative moments that your clients have. Can you share a story of one of these transformative moments where kink helped a client? I'm working on an art project called Kink Helps Kink.
Hmm.
It's a big thing. It's all about trying to collect stories about kink helps kink. But can you share a story without breaking any confidentiality of one of these transformative moments where kink helped a client achieve some kind of profound healing or self-discovery?
Hmm. Hmm. Well, it's an interesting one. A previous client of mine was going into brain surgery, and he had cancer, a tumor, and he has had multiple surgeries over many years, and he's been um, in remission for quite a long time. But it just came back, and he had to get literal brain surgery. And so he did a GoFundMe of like help pay for the surgery, whatever, and he made more money than he thought. And so he was like, what am I going to do with this extra money? And he was like, I'm going to do something for myself. And so he ended up coming to me. And one of the things that we really worked on was like recognizing that the pain of the surgery, the pain afterwards, the recovery, if you can change your relationship to pain, and again, instead of bracing against it, like letting it take you, like profound and pleasurable and like euphoric things can happen. And so it was about using power and hierarchy of like, okay, I am in the dom, you're in the sub. I am going to like release you into the depths of your pain. And so we like went in and like we went into like previously all the pain he felt in previous surgeries, but then integrated like impact play into it and allowed him to go into the bracing feeling of like, oh God, I hate this feeling. Oh God, blah, blah. But then impact play. And then me as a dom being like, release, like breathe, use your breath to move the sensation through the rest of your body. Let it diffuse through the rest of your body. And it was absolutely beautiful. It was a profound experience for both of us because I've never had anyone come to me with such an acute need that was facing them. And so there's just like one example specifically about the physical nature of this work.
I'll say it again. You may cut out. Then what of this
I
work?
said that's one example specifically like around the physical nature of that work.
Yes.
It's basically like put that into the emotional nature.
Mm.
Like it's pretty much the same pathway.
Okay, your work emphasizes melting into profound pleasure. I love how you word that, by the way. But we have a community here, right? It's a kink community.
Great.
So how do you guide clients to embrace such pleasure in a society that often stigmatizes kink?
So I think this is what actually really makes my work unique is that like my mission is to normalize kink as everyone is kinky. And
Yes.
like literally like because if you think about it, like kink is alternative sexuality. So what is not alternative sexuality? Well, not alternative sexuality is two Caucasian thin people who are married having sex in a bed that's not paid for, and they're using it in order to procreate. Do you know what I mean? And they're like, that's what not like. So anything outside of that could be considered kinky. You have sex standing up, you're kinky. Like it's such a ridiculous idea. So the idea for me, it's like everyone's kinky first and foremost, and second, so like let's just stop this idea that like it's an othering form, and then also to normalize it of like I mean, I get a lot of folks I'm the very first person. They might be 56 years old and I'm the very first person they've ever shared their shame with around their sexuality because they have desires that they've never explored and they have desires they believe to be wrong. The very first person. I have people who come into my dungeon or get work online with me and they come into the room with me, like the Zoom room, and their bodies are so dysregulated because, again, it's like confessing themselves for the very first time.
What do their bodies look like? What do you mean when you say
Oh,
that?
they're just like they're like paralyzed. Like it's like their bodies are in full flight or fright. Their bodies are in full like trauma response, almost like, or like they're ready, like a cheetah is chasing them across the Serengeti, is what their bodies are like. And it's because they are revealing themselves for the first time. So, like, that's the thing is saying it's just like, look, the erotic equation by Dr. Morin is attraction plus obstacle equals desire. Attraction plus obstacle equals desire. This means so kink. What's so cool about kink is kink goes into the obstacle. It is an art form. It is a scientific experiment of going into the obstacle.
Speaking of obstacles, get 50% off Lock and Lust chastity devices. That's an
There you
obstacle.
go. There you
I had to
go.
do it. It was funny.
Nice.
Okay, so let's get to the next question. What are some lesser known aspects of therapeutic kink that you wish more people understood?
That it's for everyone. That it's not like a lot of people, they think of kink and they think, and because I'm a lady and because I used to market myself as a dominatrix, they're thinking like leather and brimstone and whips and chains and what you might think of as a regular dominatrix, but like it's actually a much softer process because I'm a big believer that if you really want to change your life, like you have to be with all parts of yourself. And so
Yes.
for the people who are deeply dysregulated, they come to me because I'm going to sit with their dysregulation first. If you go, and I work with people over months, you literally can't sign up for me for a one-off session. If you're going to sign up with me, you sign up for at least 1 month, if not 3 months of weekly hour and a half work, of like weekly hour and a half sessions. So like it's deep and profound. Whereas when you go to a traditional dominatrix, which by the way, love all the traditional dominatrixes, like I'm your champion, but like they're not going to have time or space to sit with the dysregulation unless like that's all you want is just to talk to a dominatrix one-on-one. But like it's not a coherent journey. Does that make sense? And so
Oh,
that's
yes.
what I want people to know is that like it's also like this is not about fantasy fulfillment. If you want to go get spanked, go to a regular dominatrix. If you want to change your life, come to me, baby. Let's fucking change your life.
All right. So you have an online presence, your TikTok, which is Soul Kink 00, Instagram, they're vibrant platforms for you to educate about kink. So in creating the content, what platforms work best for you, and what do you think you may use next? Because platforms are always changing.
Yeah, I mean, TikTok is doing, I mean, it's interesting. My entire, at the moment I've got like 80,000 followers or something on TikTok. And TikTok is interesting because I've really found a niche, which is submissive men. And it's interesting, like because this work is for everyone. And before I started blowing up on TikTok, I had a much more diverse client list, which is really interesting, of trans folks and women and queer women and like younger porn. I have a client who was like 25 and who was like a very popular person in the porn world. Um, but now it's very much submissive men, which I welcome and I love. But it is really interesting the experience of delving into TikTok and like starting to hone in of just like, oh, this group, this audience is hungry,
Yeah.
desperate, desperate to be talked as a human being, but also but to be empathized with. And they're also desperate for a female bodied person to acknowledge them and to see what they've gone through. Desperate. And so I've come to like TikTok is like really like honing in on that deep need. And again, it's the need of the masculine bodies who are so desperate to be a human.
Yes.
They're just like
Yeah.
just a human. It doesn't make you weird. It's just like if you want to surrender, it's because your whole life is telling you that you have to be in control. Your body's trying to balance you out. You just are human.
Most men are scared of being here.
Yeah.
Most men are scared. So you are on YouTube, right? You share insights and about kink and healing. love your YouTube channel. Everybody should check out your YouTube channel. But which one video are you particularly proud of?
I did a video a couple months ago about the spiritual power of impact play that I feel really it was after a session, and I was like in awe of what we could accomplish through the power of impact. And it's because I had kind of moved away from impact a little bit with clients. Um, and this guy he was stuck in a pattern. He was like, I need help, like I'm spinning, like I can't get out. And so I was like, get on the ground, like fucking let's go. And I just beat the shit out of him. And it was, but you know what I mean? In this like, but during that time, I was like, and I'm guiding him, and also like, I'm a big, my favorite in my favorite kink tool, BDSM tool, is breath. Like you can make somebody just completely melt in a second just by sharing and directing their breath. I mean, 5 seconds, you're sub state. I don't even care who you are, what you are, like it's just how it is. But I was just
So
during that.
check this out. So I go to YouTube and let's look up Emily Letts. So, oh, there you are. Hey, look, we can see ourselves, watch ourselves. So there's all these. What is your channel? So I could so we could bring it up on the screen.
It's Soul Kink 00.
So when people, and I'm doing this online because I want people to see how they could find Emily Letts. So this is your channel. Now, one thing I find about interesting with social media on YouTube, was there how has the videos impacted your audience? Like, was there one video that got a very different response than you thought?
Nope. I like, what's really interesting is you just typed in Emily Letts to YouTube, and a lot of my previous
Oh yeah.
work came up, which was I thought pretty funny.
Yeah.
Because previously I have a very strong online presence around abortion work, and as an abortion counselor, and sharing all of that. And so I just want to acknowledge that, like, if you type in my name to Emily Letts, you're going to see me advocating for the destigmatization of abortion on a national and international
Thank you.
level.
Thank you very much for doing that. Thank you for being outspoken. We need voices, and your help. And I'm glad that you brought it up, and I'm glad that we could if you want to talk about it, please do, please do. But let's get through the interview. Okay, where were we? Therapeutic playlist. I love music. This is gonna sound weird. But music helps me. It's like in the morning, I have certain playlists. When I drive, when I walk, and I like certain things. When I dom, when I sub, like there's always playlists. Do you have a certain therapeutic kink playlist?
I have like a go-to dom, like when I want to really go into my dom and the impact play, and then I have a playlist around that, and then I also have a really beautiful aftercare playlist. I think aftercare, I think, is probably the most important, because I don't need music to get into my dom and to
Yes.
experience that, but like I think aftercare is the thing that I probably use music most for.
Okay. And you're in Boulder. How has Boulder supported or shaped your work as a therapeutic kink practitioner? Boulder, Colorado.
Boulder is it's like a national hotbed for sacred sexuality work. Like all of my friends are coaches, all of my friends are tantrikas, all of my friends are, I have actually less friends fewer friends that are traditional therapists, but all my friends are healers. So what it's just like a huge community of folks who are truly exploring the edges of what it means to heal. And so what's so beautiful is like I'm constantly learning and constantly inspired by the people who I get to call my best friends. And so I think that, and then it also just brings people to Boulder who are more open to looking at themselves and going deeper because it's such a spiritual community. So I think that's how Boulder impacts this work.
Let's rapid fire kink advice. All right. And these are whimsical questions that I do this for everybody. So usually the dominatrixes. So let's step into your dominatrix character for this, okay? Rapid fire kink advice. You restrain someone and their arm goes numb. The wrist goes numb. What do you do?
Well, what I do is before I restrain them, we go through many exercises of them being able to listen to their body. So if their arm goes numb and they're disassociated from their body because they've spent 20 years or 50 years in the tech world, like they're not going to tell me that their arm goes numb. But like to be able to learn how to listen to your body and then to be able to communicate, like, so just to give them the words of like yellow and recognizing that a yellow is celebrated is a powerful tool.
That is sexy. I have to say. All right, rapid fire kink advice. Sub or client shows up way too high. What do you do?
What's that mean?
High on drugs. He was stoned, drunk, coked up, maybe a little bit of dope. Maybe,
See,
I don't know.
yeah, so like, well,
This
is
is
something
your old dominatrix days, not the new
so
soul
this
kink.
is what's up, is that I've never been a normal dominatrix. The first time I ever domed anyone was for money, and it was in this modality. Like the idea of just doming people to dom people, like recreationally without intention, the thing that gets me off more than anything is like deep, profound spiritual inner work. Like,
Okay.
so some of this stuff is like, I'm not going to be like, my clients don't fucking show up high because I'm not there to
Yeah.
whack them off.
What if someone wants to kind of, well, that's what they're also paying tons of money, stuff like that. Let's just get into it. AI and kink. How have you been evolving with AI?
I mean, like my social media manager uses AI to like help, but that's his stuff, so I don't really touch it much.
Okay. Do you have any concerns or fears about it or excitements?
Um, about AI, I mean, the thing that I don't have concerns about it. The thing that I trust more than anything else is human connection and how
Okay.
humans can alchemize and attune to each other. And so, like, that's what I'm concerned about is like, how do we get in the room and learn how to attune to each other?
That's true. Some people say AI is making us less human, you know, and less connected, definitely. So, let me ask you this. We're going to be whimsical. I'm a whimsical person. This is a whimsical show. Okay. You want to be a little whimsical? Would you rather? Okay. Now, let's say you have to do one or the other. It has to be. This is a whimsical game.
Okay.
Would you rather?
Okay.
Right? If in some kind of kink sessions, whether it's personal or professional, whatever, psychological or physical, it has to be all psychological or all physical, not
Psychological.
psychological. Okay. Would you rather? Would you rather experiment with new kink or do the standards?
I am an experimenter.
Me too. All right. Would you rather? Would you rather a detailed, planned session or a spontaneous session?
I don't plan anything.
Nice. Would you rather though? Would you rather sensory deprivation, that means blindfolds, earplugs, or sensory overload? It's ice and hot wax.
Deprivation.
Definitely. One thing that I've been doing these days, I mean, after the transplant, I'm trying to exercise more. I'm trying to eat more. Eat better. Excuse me, eat healthier. Um, Kink, I believe, has helped made me a kinder person, a cooler person, a more loving person. So,
Can you
as
tell me how?
by the people, by the interacting with people, seeing how they react not only to me but with each other, and learning from my mistakes, and having actual people to model after, and also people to know what not to do, and also the connection. Ultimately, it's the connection. But beyond that, I want to talk about self-care rituals in the sense that every morning I go through I do a meditation, I do a workout, I eat something. I don't no phones, no television, just water first thing, water. You know what I mean? I'm always trying to make it better. Do you have any self-care rituals that you do? I mean, you are a healer. You're a therapeutic, kink healer. How have you healed yourself with self-care rituals?
Yeah, I do a lot of ancestral healing work. So I work, yeah, and so I'm constantly talking to my ancestors and my guides, and I've got my altar right
I'll take my
here.
phone out.
Yep, my altar right here, and healing tools that I have made with my own ancestors. You still there? Yeah. And so prayer and spirituality and dropping into my body is a big part of my work, as well as just having a community that truly, my community, I can't believe that I don't have my friends. I cannot believe that I don't have to pay them. They're like fucking gurus, like national gurus that I'm just like, I can't believe that you're just like my friend and I get free advice from you all the time because I feel so inspired by them. The most grounded, wise humans on the face. They're wizards, pure wizards. And so also just being in deep connection with beloved community, I think is a big part of my self-care.
Yeah, as connection. This is for me. It's so beautiful. It truly is, and it keeps me going.
Yeah.
And even like when I was sick, and I tell my guests this, certain ones. When I was sick, that connection that I had with them. So I'm on the internet and I'm sick, so I'm going through Instagram and Twitter and FetLife and stuff like that. And the people I knew, right? The people I knew, those are the ones that like kept me going. They kept me happy and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And also all the nurses. I know a lot of people, and I've dealt with a lot of deaths. And when people are on their deathbed, they're not looking for, their Xbox. They're not looking for, a book. They're looking for people. They're
Yeah.
calling out for people. So let's get fun. Let's get fun. Talk about people. Let's say if there was Kink Olympics, what would the Olympic sport be?
Like improv, improv, like archetypes.
Excuse me. Like I was thinking, when you say improv, I was automatically thinking comedy. Like whose line it is? Is it anyway?
Yeah, but also like yeah, I would say like improv, like archetypes. So do you know what archetypes are?
Yes, of course. So would you have like a dom archetype, like a male dom or
No, but the idea is like
female?
improving, right? So like improv scene work,
Mhm.
but also of like being able to both people get to like I don't I often don't do scenes with like strict roles. So for example, like I really train my clients to be able to be switches, but not only switches, but to be able to be truthful to whatever is authentic in the present moment.
Nice.
So if they are like, fuck, like I'm having a lot of resistance to be a sub, then it's their job to be
Mhm.
like, fuck you, like get on the ground. So it's like improv.
What was the last dream you remembered?
I got no idea.
That's fair answer. It's a good answer. Lifestyle, without giving too much away. Do you? I mean, you constantly you live obviously the lifestyle. Are you currently in a dom sub relationship, any chance? A lifestyle relationship, or
No, so I don't use kink as a for me, like again, kink is the way that I approach approach challenges and I approach joy and how I approach relationships. But I am in a
yes?
deeply committed relationship, and we employ kink often as a way to move through things and a way to get closer. But it's not a 24/7 thing. That would never work for me. Because I'm so much more than just a dom. I'm so much more than just a sub. I'm a full human that needs to have the range.
All right. Ultimate kinky fantasy. Let's say we have endless resources. You can go anywhere in the world with anyone you want to do. What is your ultimate kinky fantasy?
My ultimate kinky fantasy. My ultimate kinky fantasy probably would be. Mm, yeah, I think my ultimate kinky fantasy would be probably to. You know what? I'm gonna have to sit with that one.
All right. Don't worry. Sunshine says, "Can we broadcast this to every man ever?" Such excellent insight. And then Sunshine asks, "Why does society shame BDSM and kink? Why do you think so, Emily?"
Well, and when you say society, I'm guessing you are talking about like American culture. American culture, I think, we have very pure. I mean, it's the same reason why we shame all things that are. That's why we have taboo. Like that's why we shame abortion. It's why we shame birth. It's why we shame bodies. It's why we are terrified of nipples. I mean, it like to ask that question is to really take a full landscape of the tapestry and history of our ancestors, and we were began by Puritans. So like anything outside of the norm, specifically anything sexual, that's why like think about like it's the same reason why abortion is stigmatized. It's the exact same reason. It's because there's such a deep fear of the sexual human experience, and the products of that and the joy of that and the liberation that can come with it, because when you find true liberation, it means that it's harder for you to be controlled.
Very well said. Very well said. All right, rapid fire recommendations. They don't have to be kink related, but they're always fun if they are. All right. I love media, so this is all going to be about media. I don't know if you are into it, but please recommend a film.
Recommend a film. Well, I mean, since we're talking about kink here, let's I would say The Secretary is probably one of my favorite kinky films.
Great movie. Maggie Gyllenhaal. James
Because
Bay.
it's also fucked up and so hot. It's like deeply fucked
Yes.
up. Like that is like such a non-consensual relationship, but it's also
Yes.
and then like mildly, you know what I mean? So I like to share it with people, be like, watch it, and then tell me what's wrong with it, and then tell me what turns you on.
Yes. Um, yes, definitely. Good choice. Recommend a book.
Existential Kink.
Existential Kink, which is definitely a book I must read. It's on my must read
Yeah,
list.
you gotta
And
read that.
shout out to Vivian Vibes from Pep Love. Vivian Vibes, a good friend of the show. She's the one who turned me on to the book. This month. She wants to do a whole show topic about it, which as soon as I read it, it's gonna happen. All right, rapid fire recommendations. Recommend a television show.
Bonding.
Bonding. All right.
Have you ever seen it? It's on Netflix.
Yes, yes. I saw the first season. I heard the second season better.
I've watched both seasons like 10 times. In fact, just even talking about it right now, I think I might go back and watch it again.
Right. You know what? I think we might too. Yeah. It's on the to-do list again, man. All right, cool.
Also,
I love talking to people.
I would also recommend Sex, Love, and Goop. Also a really amazing
The
show.
Gwyneth Paltrow group thing. Okay. Recommend a meal.
Recommend a meal. I mean, I have a lot of dietary restrictions,
Me
unfortunately,
too.
but I am a big fan of like lox bagel with like olives and cream cheese, and that's my vibe.
All right, word association game. Okay, I'm going to say a word or a phrase. You say the first thing that comes to your mind. There's no wrong answer. Okay, there's no wrong answer. Right. So if I say chastity, you might say lock. Right? If I say, you know, if I say locks and if I say chastity and you're thinking of locks and bagels, you could say locks and bagels. There's no wrong answer. Okay, it's a fun game. And then there's the jar. I don't know what's in this jar.
The
Right.
jar.
The jar. I don't know. There's little pieces of paper in this jar, and so we're in this together. I'm pulling this out. I don't know what she wrote in this jar, but thanks to Tangle Blue and Sunshine and Mistress Natasha for making this happen. All right, you ready to go? For association game. All right, chastity,
Belt.
face slapping,
Awake.
trampling,
Stiletto.
scarves,
Soft.
handcuffs,
Police.
French maid outfits,
Cleaning.
the '50s housewife dynamic,
Trad wife.
scarification,
A ritual.
splashing.
Unknown.
You don't know what it is, or you're just saying unknown?
I don't know what that is.
Food, messy,
Oh,
sloppy food, sticky food, pies.
got it. Sensation.
All right. Pegging,
Dildo.
figging.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, they take like a ginger root, something like that, and put it in your butt. Look it up.
Whoa.
Figging. Yeah. All right. What about rope, 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 rope,
What?
rope,
Rope.
rope?
Bunny.
Yeah. Rope. Oh, okay. What about littles?
Bigs.
Heels.
Back pain.
That's a good one. All right, we're going to the jar.
Okay. I do just have to let you know I don't have too much time left.
No worries. We're wrapping it up. Human sacrifice.
Gods.
Okay. And whipping.
Leather.
Golden showers.
I would say yellow.
Yellow. Okay. All right. We're winding it up. So let me just ask you this: what advice would you give to yourself that you wish you learned sooner?
Don't perform. Don't ever, ever perform. The truth is so much better. No matter how upsetting it is to anyone else or how upsetting it is to you, the truth always is best.
The truth is always. But Emily, we're all looking for something. Where do you want your kinky path to take you next?
I think honestly, I just like I think I just want to continue to spread the word. Like I want to spread the word that like whoever you are, whatever you are, like you're not special. You're fucking normal. Like you're okay. You're okay. And that like whatever masking you are doing, it's not helping you. Like it's really it's eroding your soul.
Yeah.
So like come to the altar, get on your knees and like let's make magic. And like that's the word that I want to spread because so many people are desperate for it. So what's next is just like continuing on the path that I was called to.
Wonderful. Please complete this sentence. Life is
fucking magical.
wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Emily. Thank you so much for everything you do and for your time, for your energy. I truly appreciate it. I know that the people listening to this appreciate your wisdom, your kinky wisdom. Very therapeutic. Please go to yourkinkyfriends.com, get 15% off all inventory at lockedandlust.com with offer code YKF. But please read a book. YKF has tons of offers. We have so many offers. We have Carly DeVille with Naughtylicious, Asher Lake with Dominatrix Boss, Melissa Todd with My Body, My Business. We have Sarah Azizi with Make a Wish. These are all great books. Annie Muscala, the Peeper and the Playwright, and this is wonderful. Exodai with Elizabeth Hendricks. Pretty much amazing. And soon we have Sub Miss Ann with Pony Play. This is a magnificent book. This is amazing. And please read Your Kinky Friends and find out how Nicholas Tannick became Nicholas Tannick with the coolest way to kill yourself. Killed myself off. I became a better person. I became the person I wanted to be. We got some people. Hi, Nick. So hi, Ben. Thank you, Chris. And the truth is always best. Where can people find you, Emily? Where can people get in touch with you? And
go to soulkink.com is where all my delicious stuff lives. And then also I've got a resource page of free resources of teachers that I've learned from. I stand on the shoulder of giants for sure. And then you can also find me on TikTok at SoulKink00, Instagram SoulKink00, and YouTube at SoulKink. Thanks so much for having me, Nicholas.
Thank you. You are an inspiration in so many ways. Everybody, please be cool, be kind, and keep an open mind.
Bye-bye.
Truth is nothing but the truth. Beautiful thing.